Here is Peter's original resume as I reviewed the last time I did one of these shows. Not the show, just a lead-in. And we looked at Peter's resume, which I'll scroll through so you can see it. It's black and white. It's pretty dense. It's got these very blob-like paragraphs. And it's 14 pages long because he included references or recommendations at the end. And we gave him a bunch of feedback on it. Now, I'll scroll through it once more just so you have a sense of it. Try and keep it in your mind. I probably told him he has no objective, but I don't perfectly remember everything I said. And I think this may be the one where I followed up after it and said, even though you have a lot of numbers in it, which is good, those numbers don't necessarily get you to the end result. So, Peter made some changes, and I haven't looked at his changed one, but here it is. So here's Peter's new version. It's still black and white. Deeply experienced product manager, project manager with broader experience in marketing, media, and business development, seeking a role, so he's got a clear objective, seeking a role that leverages my 10 years of experience working with blue chips, clients, agencies, etc. And then it says where he is. It still doesn't name a position or a type of role, but he can customize that per place he sends it to. So his original objective had this very unclear, it didn't say he wanted a job doing what. And it had this very unclear, like, I don't know, I'm a PM, I'm BD, I'm marketing, I'm media. He's clarified that to say what he mostly does, project management, with all this broader experience. And then he's seeking a role that leverages this experience, working with a certain set of people. I still wish that role had a name or something a little more concrete, but this is better. Now let's go to the experience. Yeah, what does blue chip mean in 2020 terms? It's a good question. Blue chip is slang, and so probably shouldn't be there. So, Peter, if you're listening or look back at it, I would seek Fortune 500 is more clear. Fortune 50, like that's more specific because the Fortune 500 is a specific list. And I hear that term more. So it's probably a good nitpick. Here, he had led with all these achievements, which were strange because achievements for what? To what end? And since we didn't know what he wanted to do, there were these unusual achievements here. Those have been moved now. Maybe they appear later in the resume. I don't know. But he starts right off with his experience. So I'm going to bring up a third screen real quick. Come on. And the reason I'm going to do that is Peter actually listed his changes. So I cut and pasted this from Discord. Let me blow it up so it's easier to see. But he basically itemized, and for all of you watching, these are all the different changes he chose to make based on our feedback. So change objective statement to be more clear about who I am, what I want to do. True, opened with experience and the big numbers. Added context for big numbers to show overall impact. So he tried to add impact. 4 bullet point hard stop to improve readability. How does this show scope or impact? Obviously the question I kept asking him. Instead of focusing on hats I wore, I changed it to departments I worked with approach. Trim notable clients, really tough. He was trying to save space. Omitted years for awards, save space. We'll see that in there. Nintendo added context to Nintendo role through publicly searchable information to work around NDA. Good idea. He was concerned about his NDA in the past. Added some impact items. A lot of this was about saving space, which is good. And he comments that he took 100 words out of it. It accounted for 15% of the resume space. So he did a lot of trimming. So let's go back and look at the whole thing end to end real quick. This is his new resume. So let's go down and see what we find. He founded his own restaurant. The Super Bowl Restaurant and Bar was a 6,000 square foot blah, blah, blah. 4 out of 5 on Yelp. Cleared up to $50K monthly revenue, sold for 15 times acquisition cost, manage up to 25 employees. Yeah, look at how factual this is. If we compare this to what it was before, like look how many more facts are in here, right? If you compare these two paragraphs, he had the 600 events, but now it's got how much money they make, how successfully they sold it, how many people they manage, how many contractors, sponsors, how they manage inventory, manage the marketing effort to reach local customers. Like this is packed with very powerful accomplishment data. The original, still a good resume. Like a lot of people would pass, oh, wow, you did events, you manage employees, you manage expenses, but look how specific it is now. This is what you're looking for in a resume. And by the way, thank you, Must Be Technique, for the sub. I'm looking at another screen, so I just saw that. But thank you to all the recurring subs on the channel. I appreciate the long-term sponsors. So these are the kind of changes that make an impact. This is the same information he had, but you judge for yourself when looking at it, which has more impact on you. The generic statement that you managed employees, contractors, vendors, sponsors, and inventory. True statement. He managed all these things. Or the highly specific, managed 25 employees, 100 contractors, 6 sponsors, and kept a lean food and alcohol inventory. That is packed with information. It just feels more real, more specific, more tangible. You can decide for yourself again, but as a reader, this is much more impressive to me. Now he works in video games. So the reason this is bolded is he wants to keep showing his tie back to the video game industry. And then he put his other stuff down here in extras. And then he chose in this version to drop the 14 pages or the 12 pages of referrals. So bottom line, I wanted to show you a before and after of what people do based on our advice. These are going to get posted, maybe not today, but very shortly on our new website. So with the help of a couple of long-term channel volunteers, we bought the URL justethanevans.com. And so we're going to swap the old website, which is Ethan Evans VP, over to ethanevans.com. And we have a resources page where we post the slides I use. We're going to post my resume after I edit it, and the before and after and the changes of a few of these so you can see all of it and so that everyone has access to that. Because in the end, while it's super terrific that sometimes people reach out and give me money to help them personally with their resumes, not all of you can do that. And I can't do that for thousands of people. And so I actually want to put the resources out there so that most people can serve themselves. So hopefully you got a lot out of looking at this. If any of you have any further comments for Peter's revised resume, I totally welcome you to give him that help because I think he's done a lot of good. See, here I gave him the pressure impact, improved internal processes to save 200 hours per project, resulting in less cross-department bottlenecks during the company's growth phase. I want to know how now, like a little more, but I'm always going to want to know more. And you want to land the impression, wow, I need to talk to this person. He chopped out the years on the awards. He chopped out some clients. That's plenty of clients, by the way. Yes, could you list a 4th line of clients? I'm sure you could. What would that tell me that 3 lines of clients doesn't? Not much incremental. You always have to ask, if I put this on here, how much better is it making my resume?